I got the new hat, the Lazy Homesteader, because those of you that know me, I should be working right now on the homestead, but we've been too busy moving. That's a whole nother story. Okay, this episode I'm going to talk about our solar system and a 2-year review of owning it. Right off the bat, it has been the greatest investment out of all the homesteading equipment we have purchased. It's life-changing. I mean, it's and the way things are nowadays, it's peace of mind, well worth the money. Since we've had this, we have this system with also battery backup in the house. So there's multiple different kind of systems you can get with solar. You can do just the basic panels that are grid tied. So when it's sunny out, you're energizing your house and feeding back to the grid. But when the power goes out, it cuts off power to the grid and to your house for safety reasons. You can do off-grid systems, which are completely independent of the grid, and that's probably the ideal way to go. And then the system we have is grid tied with battery backup, which if you're already tied to the grid, it is the best way to go. The advantages of grid tied with battery backup: we are tied to the grid, but this is feeding my house right now. It's also feeding the surplus power back to the grid, and we're getting credit for it, money for it. And then in the event of a power outage or when the sun goes down, we run off our batteries. And it's just the greatest system. When the grid goes down, there's a switch that switches off and switches instantly to solar and battery backup only, and does not backfeed the grid. So this way there's no safety issues. When people are working on the lines, we're not feeding back. It's just an automatic system. I mean, it is literally so quick, so easy. These panels are Canadian Solar brand. I'm gonna put down on the bottom here the quantity of them. I'm kind of looking at it right now. I don't want to sit here counting, but they're the bifacial panels, so the back side of them is bringing in light too. It is almost evening right now, and I can show you right now what we're bringing in. The cool thing about most of these systems nowadays is they do, when the grid is working like it is right now, we have an app, and I can look and see real time what the system is generating. So let's see if I can bring this a little closer here. Right now, the battery's charged fully. We're bringing in 1.52 kilowatts, and the house is using 0.83 kilowatts. So we're sending back 0.5 kilowatts to the grid. And this is kind of, let's see if I can show this to you. I'm not sure if it's gonna, oh, look at that. It does not want to work. Okay, I'll have to do a screenshot and show you guys later, but unfortunately the screen is so, and I've got it on full brightness. Oh well, I apologize about that. It's a little app. It just shows, the panels, what they're bringing in, what we're putting back to the grid, and how the battery condition is. So we have our system set up to self-sufficiency. So what it does is during the daytime, we're fully running off the panels. And then at nighttime, we use the batteries, because the lithium-ion batteries, is just not good to let them sit all the time. So we have it set up so it'll run down to 30%, and then it'll kick back on the charge. Generally, we don't use that up. We have 17 kilowatt hours of battery, and that is, we have, let's see right now, 2 refrigerators, 3 freezers, central air conditioning unit, multiple TVs, computers. I mean, the typical American, house. We can have everything on and still last a day of battery power easily with, if there was zero sunlight. But even on a cloudy day, we're still generating power. So it's just such a good system. But I mean, if we were kind of picky about what we had and didn't run, like the AC and some specific things, we could probably make the battery last quite a bit longer. But with the app and with using the solar, we tend to do things a little differently. So like right now, the sun's going to be going down shortly, and we will be transitioning to, because it's almost 7 p.m. my time. So the sun's over there and it's setting. I've got maybe an hour or two left of sunlight. Typically in the middle of the day, we're just generating surplus power and we're sending it back and selling it back. So what we'll do is, that's when we'll do laundry, because we have electric washer. We have an electric dryer. We will do that during the daytime. It's free energy. Yeah, and any other things that we have, like my power tools that are electric when I want to charge the batteries. We have EcoFlow smaller units. When I want to charge those, I charge them in the middle of the day. You know, we have an electric power washer. If I'm gonna, a lot of these chores that I want to do, we plan them out in the middle of the day when we have the most sun. A lot of times we won't do laundry when it's cloudy. You know, we're trying to conserve. It's a good thing to kind of be conscious of, like, your energy usage. And as it kind of becomes a game. It's kind of a fun way to, you know, off the grid or grid homestead fun. You know, it's a little bit different than stuff you do in the city, but it's kind of neat. It's interesting, because then if you didn't have the app and you didn't really know what you're doing, you'd either be too protective of your power, or you just wouldn't care and you'd overuse it all the time. Because I was talking to people, we have not had an electric bill in the 2 years. I mean, I think we had one that was like $2, because we didn't have enough credit to make up for like some really cold winter days. And I was just talking to a guy at work today, and he said that his electric bill last month was $500, and we're at zero all the time, like maybe $2, you know, at the most. Usually, because we have enough credit built up. Like today, we built up so much credit. Goes the energy, you know, the energy company. The big negative about that, depending on your area, the way the credits work. Our area, I'm just using this as a rough, this is what it was, I don't know what it is anymore, but when we buy kilowatts of power from the electric company, they charge us 13 cents a kilowatt. That's what I pay for the house when we need it. When we sell back, they give us 3 cents a kilowatt. Just think about how offset that is, yet we're still ahead. So if you're in an area that does 1-to-1 ratio, I mean, it's just an awesome system. I mean, all these people that are like, oh, we got to be green and we got to put, you know, we got to get rid of these farm fields and put solar panels. It's not a good idea. When you have it on your own property and you're in charge of your own energy, it's the way to do it, because then you're very conscious of your usage. It's just a good thing. And like I said, peace of mind. Crazy hacking, grid down, EMP. We do have some protection on here for EMP, so that's one thing you might want to consider also. There's some inverters now that are better hardened too, but I mean, that's because not just an EMP, but also lightning is a concern. But terrorist attack, anything, the peace of mind is so worth what we paid for this system. And I know people are probably gonna, I posted another video a while back about what we paid for this system. The system with the installation, panels, batteries, everything was $50,000 roughly, like, you know, clean even number. You know, it was 50 something and some change, but our state, Wisconsin, did have some tax credit returns, so there was some, we did get some incentives on it. So, but the base price was $50,000 for this. And if you think about your return of investment, it's probably 10 years. They say the batteries, you know, you're going to lose the efficiency of them, but I think they're going to have like 80 or 90% of their efficiency left in 10 years. And this will be paid for by then, if we were still to be here. Currently in the middle of a move, everybody's like, this place is so wonderful. This is like the greatest place, but there's better places, and we'll be moving soon and building a new solar system from everything we learned from this one. We want a little bit more battery capacity because we do have a harvest right freeze dryer. It's the one item we have that our battery capacity is just not enough. So we need just a little bit more to run the harvest right off the grid completely. Probably more like, I don't know, 25 kilowatt hours or something, you know, but just 17 was just a little too light. So, but I mean, if you don't have a freeze dryer and some like heavy usage items, 17 is a pretty good area to start with. But I mean, we did a study of our power usage for months beforehand. We talked to our installer, kind of, you know, it wasn't just oh, pick this, you know. There's a lot of thought went behind it, and our system's even good enough with the panels we have that we could charge a car if we wanted to during the daytime. Most people go to work during the daytime and they're home in the evening, so it's not the greatest thing for us, but my wife does work remote. I work hybrid sometimes, but that may change. So, but yeah, I'll do some close-ups of the back of this system just in case you're curious. But I mean, this thing doesn't look it right now, but it's well over the height of my head. It's big. It's in, I want to say 4-inch steel posts, concreted into the ground. I mean, it's a substantial system. And then it's, like I said, the greatest prep, the greatest homesteading thing we have ever purchased. I mean, think about it. We use this thing every single day, 24 hours a day. It is just, like guns, tractors, this, that, yeah, you use them, four-wheelers, they're cool and all that, but this you literally use every single day, 24 hours a day, 365 days. I mean, it's just the best thing we have purchased. I mean, it's independence and the peace of mind is just priceless. I mean, if you can swing this or even go a smaller system like one of those EcoFlow like Delta 2s and some solar panels, and just in case have an electrician wire a switch on your power box in your house so you can switch off the grid and then plug in one of those small solar generators. I mean, that's a start, because I've got little solar projects all over this property. So there's little systems you can do too. I mean, our driveway alarm, the MERS, the Dakota Alert MERS driveway alarm, I've got solar and a battery backup on that, and that powers our driveway alarm. As it transmits, our driveway's a quarter mile. It transmits that, and I have not touched that in a couple years now. It's just it just runs good. The way I look at the batteries, right now there's beater Priuses, hybrid cars with batteries, and the batteries still have some charge left to them. I've got hand power tools with lithium batteries. They're well over 10 years, and I use them all the time. They still have about 80% of their capacity. I mean, and in 10 years, who knows what we're going to have as battery capacity. We could just upgrade. So that's one thing to consider. I know it's probably going to be one of the priciest preps, but it'll be well worth it. Like I said, if anything, save up and just plan out a good system, get a good installer, but it is so worth it. Yeah, like I said, in the way things are going, and will probably continue to go, the peace of mind is so worth it. And like I said, just with the way things are, it's not a bad idea to start researching and investing into a solar system. But yeah, I'm going to take you to the back side of this now and then show you around. Okay, as you can see the back side of this, and you can see the height of this thing. I mean, it's pretty massive. I mean, and then the PV link things on the back here, I'm not a solar expert, I'm just a user. But this system is the Generac, the pwrcell system. So the panels are Canadian Solar, but then everything else is Generac. So there's other systems on the market. Actually, for the new property we're moving to, I'm looking at a different brand. So I'll put some updates once that happens. But that's literally going to be one of our first investments on the new property, is a grid tied with battery backup system. But like I said, the back side of this panel still is collecting light also. So next thing I'm going to show you guys is the actual battery bank. It's a very clean install. We have it in our basement. The batteries do not like extreme temperatures, so like extreme hot. Like today, right now, it's 70 degrees and it's just absolutely beautiful. So, but earlier today it was like 89, almost 90 degrees. They do not do so well in the heat. And then in the extreme cold, they also do not do so well. So the ideal solution is to put it in your house, and we have it in our basement. A lot of people are like, oh my God, batteries are going to explode and blow up my house. And these batteries, I mean, they've been used in the space shuttle, space stations. I mean, I feel relatively safe. Cars, Teslas and all that tend to have those problems where in accidents or the battery's punctured. So as long as you don't have that happen, I wouldn't worry about it. It does not keep me up at night. Not having power in an ice storm or a, big storm, that keeps me up at night. Peace of mind of having power trumps the risk of a battery issue. So, and then yeah, so yeah. So now we're gonna go into the take a look at the battery bank. Completely unrelated to this video on solar, but you can see our goats here and everything. People that don't live in the country, I just don't know how you do it. Okay, I know I said I was gonna go show the batteries, but first I'll show where it actually comes in the house. There's some differences on the metering, but you can see that it's labeled with the interconnection disconnect switch. It'll say dual power source photovoltaic circuit operating and things like that. But this is how it looks coming into the house, and we will go look at the battery. Okay, here's a quick look in the basement. Sorry, I can't get much closer. We're in the middle of packing, but you can see there's the Generac power cell, one box to the left of our circuit breaker box, and then here is the controller, the box to the left. Everything that I use on the app to switch functions, it's that controller there that on the box that says rapid shutdown switch for solar powered PV systems behind this lid. That has the controls on there. So if I want to switch from the mode that we keep it in all the time, the self-sufficiency, you can also do what is it called, a battery priority. What we do switch it to that when we know a storm is going to come and we're going to lose sunlight, but we want to keep the battery tied to the grid and charged fully at all times. So in case we do lose power, the battery's at 100%. We don't want, because generally when a storm comes, the sun will go down, we'll start going off a battery, and then we'll be using the battery. But if the middle of the night the power cuts out, we don't want to have 50% of battery left and that's it. So we switch it to that at times. There's on the app you can actually switch it to do that automatically there's a storm setting on there. And then we've got, oops, sorry about that. You can't really see it, but that's the battery right there, that big thing to the right. And I'll see if I can, it's about 6 foot tall, just to give you an idea of the size. 6 foot tall, and it's got I think there's 17 kilowatt of battery in there, but I think it's like 6 batteries is what's in there. And that's the biggest you can get with the Generac power cell. And if you want to go more than that, you have to get another cabinet. That's the biggest you can get with one cabinet. So, like I said, hopefully this is helpful. Like I said, if you're going to do a solar system and you're somewhat into self-sufficiency or being prepared, do not just get solar panels and expect to do well. Because like I said, when you have just the solar panels and you're grid tied, when the power cuts out, your power to your house will cut out also. You want to do grid tied with battery backup and the switch that does the disconnect of the grid automatically for you, or manually. That's another option. So, well, hopefully this was helpful, and till next time. And anybody new to my channel, hopefully you enjoyed. And to people that have subscribed and have watched other videos, thanks for watching again. And everybody, be safe out there. World is crazy as usual, but just get outdoors and enjoy some outdoor therapy is what I say. It's the best therapy there is. So be safe, and till next time. Bye.